Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHEM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHEM, or Kwakwadosh. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. And shalom to the mighty Akim, Wakathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this foul captivity. This brother Kawakub coming at you with a quick lesson. And the lesson is just going to be about, this one video that I had done, and it made me, I guess, realize more into the spiritual side of things. Okay, I don't really know what I'm going to title this video, but I kind of grow through watching the video. The name of the title, which it's going to be linked in the description, but it's also my community post. But the name of the video is basically called like something along the lines of good habits, where the brothers talk about how you practicing good habits, like having self-control, doing the right thing, doing what you need to do, okay, or doing something that is doing the good habits of like practicing the word of the Lord and stuff like that. All that is things that help you demonstrate that you yourself are a follower of YAHAWAH, and that's what basically molds you. All right, and the thing is, what the brothers were basically saying in it was, or an example that they spoke on was Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar, I think it was him, basically said, or the other one that said he was an Israelite. They said that they're an Israelite, yeah, but they also have a crack problem. All right, that was a thing. It's like, so how are you gonna call yourself an Israelite? How are you gonna call yourself a man of YAHAWAH? Because that's basically what you're doing when if you're calling yourself an Israelite, you have to understand that you're not just gonna call yourself an Israelite just in name alone. Like you should. What Israelites are, they're supposed to be followers and people that are, ambassadors or representatives of YAHAWAH. You're not just some random nigga. Like that's why there's a differentiation, and you have Jakes that, well, that's number one. I'll say me, speaking for myself, but also other brothers do call certain Israelites Jake. Okay, because there's a differentiation between someone that knows that they're an Israelite and actively goes out of their way to not act like they were in the world, and there's also the other side of it where it's just 2/3 ass niggas that are just going to be in that self-destructive behavior. All right, so yeah, like that's just because you know, that doesn't mean, okay, well, that's it. All right, that's where you got these people who think that it's just salvation. It's simply because you acknowledge you're an Israelite, which that's not the thing. And as in reference to James chapter 2, verse 18, I think 17 to 22, I believe, where he basically goes in and talks about how faith without works is dead. And on top of that, it also goes into saying, the devils know. The devils believe in YAHAWASHI. Okay, does that mean that the devils are good? Does that mean that the devils do good? No, obviously not. All right. So just because you say, "Oh, I believe in God," that's all it takes. Like, so you're basically saying that all you have to do is believe. You just believe, and that means that you're a good person. You're worthy of the mercy. Because the scriptures in James chapter 2, it literally compared someone thinking that them believing is enough for salvation. All right, it's not enough for salvation. All right, you have to do more. You demonstrate your faith through your works. All right, so basically it's not enough. All right, now again, you practice your good habits. Praying. That's one thing. That's a very important thing to remember. Now, I don't know how many people. I did actually do a video where I went in on the statistics on how many people prayed, okay, and I believe it was like 50% of Americans prayed or something like that. 50%, less than 50%, a little less than 50%, and the number went down like 4%. But anyway, the main thing is just that in general, yeah, the thing is that we are supposed to practice good habits. Get into the habit of praying every day. Get into the habit of relying on the Lord. That's another thing that I have been trying to do. I've been trying Salakia. Basically, as I was saying, I've been getting to the habit of trying to pray every day. Well, no, actually, I haven't been getting to the habit. I already pray every day. But I've been trying to get back into the habit of fasting, occasionally, not just, randomly or sporadically or whatever. Okay, I try my best, but, sometimes just, that spirit of slothness, laziness, whatever you want to call it, it gets on me, and then I just feel like, I don't want to do it. I just want to eat. I want to do this and whatnot. So, I start slacking. But, again, it's important that we practice the good habits of denying ourselves, okay? Just as Yahawashi had denied himself, all right? He denied his pleasures, just as in reference to, I believe it's Matthew, I forgot which chapter. I think it's Matthew 4 or Matthew 6, and at the start of it, when Yahawashi was tempted and was taken by Satan to tempt him, saying, here, I can offer you the world. All you have to do is just bow down to me and stuff like that. All right. So yeah, that's basically it. I actually have to go. So with that, praise the that final all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Yahawadah, definitely go check that lesson out. Okay, it's gonna be the link in the description. If it's not linked in the description, it's gonna be in my community post. Check it out if you check it out. If I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Yahawadah, double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, BANYAMAN, Shalom. Alright, so Slakia, I kind of want to continue this topic a bit more, and I want to go back into the whole, practicing good habits. And the thing is that when it comes to practicing good habits, it's important because one of the biggest things, Slakia, one of the biggest things is how your actions kind of define you basically. So as the brothers had said, in the video, because again, like their video is a very big inspiration for this lesson, and it does make me want to do better, because it ties into so many other things that are also important. But the main thing is that your habits basically define you. Your actions define you. And an example that they had said was, if a crackhead is going over here and smoking crack, and that's their habit, that's their addiction, then that's what defines them. That means that person is a crackhead, like they're a crack addict. So of course, that's going to be something that defines them. All right, their action of being addicted to crack. That is something which that's what you're gonna look at, and that's what's gonna make you say, okay, this person is a crackhead and whatnot. All right, so and in that, on that same vein, on that same line of logic, you're going to look at and think about a brother, okay, a brother, an Israelite, whatever. They say like, okay, well, this person is always doing, always trying to praise the Lord, always making lessons, always doing this, always doing that, So that's a representative of Yahawadah. That's a Hebrew Israelite, all right. That's a man of the Lord. That's the habit. That's the habit. That's the actions that you want to define you. Okay, you don't want to be labeled as he's an Hebrew Israelite. Oh, but he smokes crack. But he's a drug problem. Or he has this and whatnot. All right, and that's the thing. Like, even with that, where's my other phone? even with that, you have when it comes to the spiritual side of things, when you are practicing these habits and stuff like that, one thing is that you will get to be a bit more spiritual, and it's gonna be time and discipline, Slakia, and discipline, where certain things you'll be able to fight against. Okay, for one example, actually, call on YAHAWAH. This actually ties in perfectly. Is demons. You're gonna be able to handle certain demons that try to get on you, try to get you out the spirit. All right, a lot easier comparatively. Okay, let me get this. Matthew, what was it? Matthew 17. Matthew chapter 17, verse 16. And I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him. So there was a let's start at verse 15. Matthew 17, verse 15. Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is lunatic and sore vexed. For ofttimes he falleth into the fire and oft into the water. And I brought him to thy disciples, and they could not cure him. And then Yahawashi answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you? How long shall I suffer you? Bring him hither to me. And Yahawashi rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him, and the child was cured from that very hour. Then came the disciples to Yahawashi apart and said, Why could not we cast him out? And Yahawashi said unto them, Because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if ye have faith as a grain of mustard seed, ye shall say unto this mountain, Remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. And basically the thing is that when, number one, the disciples, they were definitely men of the Lord. They were definitely always, practicing the words that Yahawashi had told them, practicing the discipline that Yahawashi told them, of course. But the thing is that they weren't as disciplined as Yahawashi. They still had their moments of weakness. They still had their stuff where they weren't as, proficient or in the spirit as Yahawashi. Whereas, because Yahawashi he is the word. He is the word. All right. He is the embodiment of the word in the most literal sense. Whereas, the disciples, they just practice the word. They just try to make it. Okay. And we need to get on the same level as Yahawashi of being, basically being the word of Yahawadah, Yahawashi, right? So, it's through that we try our best to, continuously practice and familiarize ourselves with the word of Yahweh, all right, in order to properly, and not only properly embody that, but also demonstrate that and be seen as the word of Yahawadah, all right. So the Yahawashi's habits were following his father's word, and in that same sense with Yahawashi, let me get this. First Peter chapter 2, verse 21, For even hereunto were ye called, because the Mashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps. So we have to follow the steps of Yahawashi. Okay, so Yahawashi was giving us the example of how we should be living our lives. All right. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah, Ba'Hashem, Yahawashi, Ba'Hashem, Rakwak Pradash, double honors to the elders and apostles, Ray Millstone, Abad Ball, and Shalom.